everybody. I'm David with Bolivar Live, and once again, it's the Aran and Franklin show. I'm here with Chandra today with Aran and Franklin, and we're going to talk about what Aran and Franklin really is, who they are, how they started or when they started, and what all they can do for you, whether you're a developer, a homeowner, or maybe you're buying a big piece of property and you want to develop it for yourself. But I think you'll be surprised when we're done with this show what all Aran and Franklin can do. So, Chandra, thanks for joining us today. You've been gone a couple weeks. Hope everything is going good. But let's talk about Aran and Franklin. You know, y'all probably have I would say the majority of the work that's done over here. And you've been around forever, and it's not just over here. It's Galveston, Texas City. You're licensed in Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, up the East Coast. So let's talk about, let everyone know who Aran and Franklin is and what everything you do so that you can help them.
Absolutely. So Aran and Franklin was started in 1998 by my dad, David Franklin, and my uncle, Dan Aran. And so the two of them were both engineers and kind of semi-retired and wanted to find some way to stay busy and active. And so they started this company together in 1998. So this year is actually our 25th anniversary. So we'll have been around 25 years. So our silver anniversary, really excited about that. You know, they started off doing design work along the coast because we were all from the Beaumont area. We knew, you know, that this was a need. And so they found a little niche there with people that they already knew, contacts that they already had. And they started this off really kind of in their home, just kind of trying to add a little income for themselves and find a little something to do. But my uncle passed away unexpectedly in 2003. So at that point, we kind of had to decide, okay, is my dad going to take it over? You know, what are we going to do? So he had decided in 2003 that things were going really well and he wanted to take it over. And so he kept the business going. At that time, I made a decision to go back to school and finish my degree so that I would be the next person in line to succeed and keep the business going after, you know, he was ready to retire. So I went back to school to finish my degree in 2004. I had gotten married and, you know, had babies and kind of got my education interrupted.
Uh-huh.
So I went back as an adult with children in school to finish my degree at Lamar. And then I finished that in 2006. But at the same time, I was working for Aran and Franklin from 2004 to 2006. And then after I graduated, I did all the normal steps. I worked for Aran and Franklin as a graduate engineer, then an engineer in training. And then in 2010, I actually got my professional engineering license. So that's when things really could start changing for my dad because he couldn't retire until we had a PE in place to take things over. So at that point, we started trying to figure out what was that transition plan, what that looked like. And so in 2012, we started transitioning the files. And then in 2013, I took over the business as the owner. And he was still working for the company for about a year and a half, but he was fading out. You know, he was transitioning out. And so I was taking over the day-to-day operations and everything. So, you know, at that time, we only had one office. We had an office in Texas City at that point. Our office had previously been in Galveston prior to Hurricane Ike, but it had a little storm in 2006 and got some damage, and we moved off the island. So we decided we were just going to be off the island because it made better sense for us to be in a position to be able to help everybody along the coast rather than be in the mess with everyone else.
Right.
So we wanted to take a step back and say, okay, we'll just go off mainland, you know, go mainland and, you know, be in a position to where we can deploy and help people on Galveston, Bolivar, you know, in those direct hit coastal zones. So that's when we moved our office off island. And, you know, we've really enjoyed being here. We're very centrally located for Galveston County, but we also serve the whole Texas Gulf Coast. I mean, we serve from Beaumont all the way down to Brownsville. We have inspectors posted all along the way. But the things that we do are we have, you know, of course, engineering services. So we primarily focus on Texas windstorm. So we do the windstorm design. We also do the inspection and certification. So whatever you're wanting to do, if you're wanting to build a new house, if you're wanting to just change out your windows and doors, put on a new roof, porch addition, anything like that, like we can help you with that. And we can help you architecturally, we can help you on the structural design, we can help you on the inspection and certification. And, we're trying to get everybody to move to the fortified design, which is a kind of a code plus building that's a little bit better
Right.
than TWIA and gives you some more insurance options. So and I know you've got a whole show on that, so I won't go into that. But so we have all these different pieces. And then about a year ago, year and a half ago, we started offering civil design work. We were outsourcing it to this point, and we were like, why don't we just bring that in house? I mean, we basically know how to do it. It's just we were outsourcing it, and it was just taking forever. We didn't have control over that process, so we decided to bring that in house. And we've been doing a lot of civil developments on Bolivar, Galveston, Mainland, Beaumont, like all over the place, even some in Florida in our office there. So we just decided that it made more sense to have that in-house and be able to work directly with customers to make that happen. So that has been something that we've added. The only thing that we really don't do in-house is like MEP, so that's mechanical, electrical, plumbing. That's more commercial side, and then TDLR registration and ADA compliance, which is also more on the commercial side. So we have some good partners that we work with that do those things for us. We work with the surveying companies that are already doing the surveys. They're doing the plat layouts. They're doing their elevation certificates. So we work with the guys we already have in place, and if we need something, we call them and they just send it right over.
Right.
We're all very interconnected, and same with the the geotechnical reports. So Bolivar doesn't typically need geotechnical reports. I have a whole slew of them. The soil over there hasn't changed. I know exactly how to design over
It's
there. So
sand.
unless I'm putting something very customer specific, like if I'm doing a 3-story concrete building, okay, I'm getting a soils report. But
Right.
pretty much the standard Bolivar beach house, I'm not needing a soils report. So, but there are engineers that we work with that do those geotechnical reports if we're doing something commercial or we're doing something that's a unique building that really needs that geotechnical report. So we have good partnerships with a lot of other companies that maybe don't do what we do, but that we can kind of guide you along that process. So, we're pretty versatile and kind of
You're really a
capture.
one-stop shop.
Yeah, that was the goal, right? Because a lot of people are overwhelmed by this. I mean, they're excited about building a house, have no idea where to start. And, they can make a lot of mistakes along the way. They could go and buy these plans online and say, "Oh, this is the perfect beach house." And we get and go, "No, that's not going to work at all." And they've wasted all this time and money,
Right.
and we can kind of help guide those decisions. And sometimes there's value engineering that we can offer and say, look, you can absolutely do exactly what's on this piece of paper and it's going to cost you a fortune. So
Yeah.
we can say, if we make these few small subtle changes, eliminate this one window, give me some corner segments to work with, we can eliminate a lot of this additional cost. And that's what people like to hear. They want to hear the options that they have. And so we do that. If we do architectural design, we do it from the design process forward instead of having to kind of backtrack after they've given us a design and it doesn't really work that well.
So they can give you an idea on what they want, maybe something they've seen online because they like the layout of the house, the way
Hmm.
the bedrooms are, the size of the rooms. And then
Yeah,
y'all can look at it and say, okay, draw it up and
sure.
windstorm, because chances are that house could be built up in Missouri or Illinois,
Exactly.
and it's a whole different category up there to where they may not need the sound corners that we need down here, or the way the
Exactly.
roof angle is, because they've got snow up there, we've got wind down here. And so
Exactly.
y'all can really help them along the way. And then if it's a subdivision that they're wanting to do, you can look at it and really lay it out to where they'll get the best uh, properties as far as the layout, most available plots that you can get.
Right. You have to be able to optimize that. So, I mean, the problem is we have to always do detention and drainage. So we have to
Right.
look at what are the kind of the premium lots that we're going to want to sell, right? That are going to
Hmm.
look good. They're going to have the best view that, make the most sense to get the best dollar value for that owner. And then where can we put that detention and drainage where it's least impactful for that whole subdivision, but it
Right.
complies with what the county is requiring. So yeah, there's kind of that sweet spot between optimizing the layout, the aesthetic of it, the size lots that they want. If it's septic or city, we kind of have to
Yes,
go,
sewer.
different size lots based on what, what that is. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we can do to help optimize those things. And it's kind of a somewhat art, somewhat science when it gets to the development side, which is really,
Right.
really interesting. I'm actually doing my own subdivision, so we've redesigned it, I think, 3 or 4 times. And part of it is because of what the state or the city or the county wants, and part of it is because, of
You've
aesthetically,
got to
we're like, oh, well, we
justify.
could, if we move this over, like we could get more premium lots here. We could have some
Right.
bigger corner lots and things, and versus the way we had it originally. So, like I said, it's a lot, sometimes art, sometimes science when it comes to that, but it's fun, and it's just something that we're excited we can offer now, instead of just starting with a house that's already got a lot. One of the things that people, you were talking about the plans, which is exactly what we want them to do. We want them to go online, we want them to find what they like and just snip what they like. And but the very first thing, people just think anything's going to fit on their lot, so we have to take that lot and say, okay, what is your buildable area? We've got to look at all your setbacks, we got to look at your front and side setbacks, because they'll put these monstrosities and it'll be going over the property lines. And we're like, whoa,
Right.
whoa, whoa, we've got to squinch it in a little bit. We've got to make it a little smaller, or
They
bring that
may
deck
want a
in or something
one-story house, but may actually have to have a two-story house. And we
to
see
get,
that a lot down here.
yeah,
Is people want to get a bigger house, but they're buying a 60-foot or a 75-foot lot with
it's tiny.
setback. Well, you can go up as high as you want, just about, as
That's
long
right.
as you can afford it, but you
You just
can't
got to
go any
squinch it
wider.
in. Yeah, you got to stay squinched into those setback lines. I mean, that's one of the very first things that we do is we kind of look at, once we get the survey from the surveyors, like what is our buildable area?
Uh-huh.
What is the ground elevation? How high up is it going to have to go? And that kind of gives us some parameters of what we feel like we can do. And then they'll tell us what they want. And we'll say, okay, what you are showing will fit. And we're like, what you're showing really won't fit. We need to find something skinnier or longer,
Right.
and let them start thinking of some ideas. One of the other challenging things that we have is people that want to, uh, they say, oh, I want to stick a second story on my existing house. And we're like, well, that is not above base flood, and it has 8x8 piling underneath it, and it really can't support a second
Right.
level. And they don't want to hear that. And so I'm like, absolutely, you can do a second level. How much are you willing to change on the original structure? Are you willing to bring it up to flood compliance? Are you willing to change your piling out? Are you willing to change out some of your floor system
Yeah.
in order to support that extra load? And they go, oh, I'm not willing to do all that. I'm like, well, then maybe you need to add on to the back of it,
Yeah.
instead of to the front or to the top. So anyway, so it's fun. It's fun to, like I said, be part of that creative process. We have some really good drafters that work directly with the clients that um, help them take those ideas and really bring them to reality. And that's the goal. Like, it's not my house, I don't really care what it looks like. It's your house, it's the house you
Right.
want to live in. It's, once you want it to function a certain way. Most people, by the time that they're building a beach house, have lived in houses their whole life, and they
They know what they
kind of know
need
the
and want.
flow. Yeah, know what they need in it, know what the flow that they like. And so they kind of have an idea of what they want and what works for them and their lifestyle. And so it's just our job to, make that happen. So
Great. Great. Well, if you need some more information, maybe you're looking to build a beach house on Galveston Island, Bolivar, or anywhere really, anywhere there is water attached, because you go down the whole Texas coast, across Louisiana, Mississippi, around Florida, and up the East Coast, and so you can
we're
really
there.
take care of everyone. Look them up online. Is probably the best way to get hold of them. You can find them at aranandfranklin.com, aaronfranklin.com. um, Email them and they'll get back with you. And we do these shows every Friday at 10:30. A lot of times we're talking to Chandra about insurance or something engineering, or we're talking about Bolivar, but it's always here and it's always live at 10:30. So Chandra, thanks for joining us today. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye bye.